We're talking rumors like it's high school again here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. First things first, we're going to go into whether or not Taysom Hill should be QB1. There's been chatter out there. People are still saying it in my comments, and I'm just going to go ahead and have the conversation once so I don't have to have it again. And then we're going to get into a mailbag where the subscribers of Saints Now by Chat Sports ask questions, share their hot takes, and they get responses from me and my producer, Loco Lopez, live on Saints Now. We go live Mondays, we go live Thursdays, and we go live game days. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. Let's talk Taysom Hill. All right, I've seen a lot of fans out there suggest now that Taysom Hill is healthy, he should be QB1. Like, we're good. He's healthy. Life's good. We're going to be great. Boom. Make Taysom Hill QB1. Spencer Rattler is 1-11. Tyler Shuck blows. Blah, 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 blah. One thing I want to make explicitly clear. First of all, I love y'all. YouTube comments and everything. Not going to find the greatest ideas in terms of what you should do for coaching. Just going to put it out there. That being said, a lot of this is just fans saying this. There's no reports out there. There's no anything out there that suggests the Saints are going to be starting Taysom Hill. This is just people saying, oh, my God, he's available. We need to start winning games. Taysom Hill has won a lot of games at quarterback, which for what it's worth, I do think makes sense of, well, he's won a lot of games. He's been a player who's been super successful as my quarterback, and he's been tremendous throughout his NFL career. Like, I want something to be explicitly clear before I address the QB1 side of things. Taysom Hill should be in the Hall of Fame. He should end up in Canton. He is a one-of-one player. We will never see another player like him, and you can call it a gimmick. You can call it whatever you want. Taysom Hill, he is truly the best true football player in the entire National Football League. Name one other player, maybe outside of Travis Hunter, who can do what Taysom Hill is doing / has done, and for the longevity that he's done it and at the level, Taysom Hill, one of the best overall football players in the last 10, 15 years that I've seen at least. Now, let's talk about the quarterback situation, though, because I think that making him QB1 would actually be a terrible idea. I know a lot of y'all are going to sit here, well, he's won so many games when he was a quarterback, so why wouldn't we do it? You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's consider some facts here. You don't have Sean Payton, who was the Taysom Hill whisperer. You also had Taysom Hill at a much younger age. You had him at a much earlier point in his career. And at this point, I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. So I have 4 reasons. There's 100, but there's 4 that we're going to just narrow it down to. First things first, you need to prioritize the youth. I think if you decide to put in Taysom Hill at quarterback, you are severely hurting the development of not just your starter, but your backup quarterback too. Spencer Rattler will suffer. Tyler Shuck will suffer. It will not help the future of this team. Secondly, he's 35. That alone is a reason. He's also not a true quarterback. Never has been. I know that at times he's started. When have we seen Taysom Hill at his best, Lopez? Has it been when he's taken every single snap from quarterback, or is it when he's been lining up all over the place and gotten to just be a weapon? Yeah, when he, as Lopez said, when he kind of just bebops around and plays football, that's where he's at his best. So Taysom Hill, you also have to consider, he recently returned from injury. Why have we not seen him more on the field? Why wasn't he as big of a factor against the Patriots? Well, he scored the 1 touchdown, which was awesome. But again, he's recently returned from injury. And this is a brand new offensive system. And he's a smart player. He's somebody who could easily learn it. But you have to be realistic and understand the facts. This is just not going to happen. You can want it to happen. You can say it should happen. You can give all of the stats and all of the facts and all of whatever that has happened up to this point. But the reality is we have closed the chapter of the Sean Payton era entirely. We have now opened the Kellen Moore era entirely. And Taysom Hill as a quarterback, as a true quarterback, is not part of Kellen Moore's story. You want me to prove you wrong? There's people out there that said Taysom Hill was QB2 and Tyler Shuck was QB3, so Taysom Hill should be QB1, blah, blah. Okay, well, here's the situation. Realistically, Taysom Hill was announced as a joker. His position isn't tight end anymore. His position on the website, maybe it's listed as quarterback. I don't really know. I don't necessarily think that online depth charts are the thing to live and die by. Joker, at Joker, Taysom Hill, in the intros of this most recent game. He's a joker. That's what Kellen Moore views him as. He is not a quarterback. He is not a running back. He is not a receiver. He is not a special teams guy. He is all of those things. He is a joker. So I think that Taysom Hill is better off in a role where he is a weapon. I think Taysom Hill is better off when he is not limited to being one position. I think he's better off if you don't make him a one-trick pony. I think he is a player. If you have him line up everywhere, it only makes your offense maybe hold on, let me rephrase. If you line him up all over the place, sure, maybe you may think, okay, Taysom Hill's going to be doing this, he's going to be running it, whatever. But you do have to consider the fact that maybe he's throwing. You do have to consider the fact that maybe he's just out there blocking. You have to consider the fact maybe out there he is a true receiving threat. Maybe out there he is going to throw the ball. Like, he is better in a role where he can do everything, not just one or two things. And at this point, that time, the time to have the conversation of should Spencer Rattler be benched for, should Taysom Hill be the QB1? That was a conversation at one point. He competed to be QB1 multiple times. He is a player who has always been a backup or an emergency quarterback type player. At one point, this was a conversation to have. At what point, this was something that we could legitimately talk about, say this would help the team. That time has come, and that time has gone. We are now building for the future. This is now Kellen Moore's team. That doesn't mean that Taysom Hill can't be a contributor and be a really reliable weapon, but he is not a quarterback, and it's time to finish that conversation. Go ahead and close the book because it's done. He is not QB1. But you want to go ahead and try one more time to open it back up, this is your chance. Who should be QB1? Type SR, type TS, type TH. Type the initials of the quarterback you believe should be leading this team, or the player you should be leading this team at the quarterback position. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. Now, coming up, we're going to get into our live mailbag question and answer portion of the video, where we're going to be responding to questions or responding to hot takes and answering questions from the Golden Gang, which are our awesome group of subscribers. But first things first, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, PrizePicks. Guys, you guys want to make some money while watching sports? There's one app that it is so much fun to do that, and it is PrizePicks. And here's this thing. We got a really sweet deal going for you. If you're a viewer of Saints Now by Chat Sports, you can download the PrizePicks app, use code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you want to pick more on Josh Allen's passing yards, rushing yards, and touchdowns, you can pick all 3 of those in the same lineup, and that's only over on PrizePicks. You can also follow other players directly on the app. They have a really new feature, and it's awesome, called the Feed tab. You can check out friends, celebrity partners, or just random other PrizePick players and see what their picks are. You follow the button, check out every lineup they create, and you can also follow their picks. So some picks that I have for this week, if you would like to follow my picks: DK Metcalf, Jamar Chase, more and more. $20 wins you 90. 2 catches, you get $90. Isn't that pretty easy? How great is that? I've been loving these. You just got to get a touchdown kind of thing, because it kind of gets you really energized. Sure, you're rooting for him to perform well all game, but it's like, just go score. I don't care. I just want points. That it makes it a little bit more fun, in my opinion. And honestly, I'm also not here to look at numbers and look at all the stats. I just want to say he's going to score or he's not going to score this week. So go check it out with PrizePicks. It's so easy. Even a Falcons fan could do it. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get them right, you cash in. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Let's go CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the PrizePicks app. Shout out to PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started. Bam! What's going on, brother? I need nothing less than a George Pickens type wide receiver, a dog, someone ruthless and technical. I miss Mike. Hope he's doing well. Who dat? Bam, I could not agree more with you, even if I wanted to. I think that the New Orleans Saints are missing an alpha. I think that they're missing a player who is a game breaker. I think they're missing a player who, at any point in time, will take over and just say, you know what? this is my game. I'm going to go win it. I'm going to go win it because I'm the best player on this field. You don't have that anywhere on your roster right now. I would love to go and add a receiver in the draft that is an alpha, that is a dominant player. A couple that come to mind, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Nick Harbor, the wide receiver out of South Carolina. Zachariah Branch is a fun one. There's a lot of really good wide receivers out there. You need somebody to complement the speed and the technicality you have in Shaheed, in Chris Olave. And if you want to maximize Chris Olave, my take has been very consistent for the last couple of years. You would be better off adding a big-bodied alpha, similar to how the Eagles had A.J. Brown. Chris Olave had Michael Thomas his first year, and I thought that we got really good production out of Chris Olave. Let's get it back. Crazy concept, but go and get a big-bodied alpha to complement Chris Olave, because I think he's more of a wide receiver like 1B or wide receiver 2. CTM, good to see you, my friend. When do you think we'll get to see Devin Neal get some runs, if you think he will get any at all this season? Fun fact, we actually did see Devin Neal get some runs. In week 1, I believe he had 1 or 2 carries. He was on the field a little bit against the Cardinals in that week 1 matchup. He was inactive weeks 2 through 5, and then in week 6, he returned to the game day roster, or as an active game day. He was active on game day, I should say, and didn't have any carries. But I think that you will start to see more and more as the season progresses. We've already seen Kendre Miller's snap count start raising, and I think that Devin Neal's snap count will also start to raise as Alvin Kamara is still a very impactful player. I don't think they're going to actually trade him. He's said he doesn't want to be traded. I think that he knows that he's going to need to start taking a back seat, and these other players are going to need to start getting more reps. But I think, he was active this past week, so next week maybe he gets a couple runs, but he has gotten a few carries already. I love football. Trizzy, Saints have 5 picks in the 2026 NFL draft. I know you don't want to draft online. How about Proctor and use him at guard? I would be okay with Proctor. What I would want to do is I'd want to trade back if you wanted to go and get him. If you have a top 5 pick, let's just say top 5 for the sake of it to make it easy right now, you should be getting a top 5 player. I don't think you need to be drafting Caden Proctor top 5. If you have top 5, I'm going, to be honest, I'm not going quarterback, but I would go Ruben Bain. I would go Jordan Tyson. I'd go Caleb Downs, TJ Parker, just to name a couple. Like, I would go and get somebody who's a difference maker. And I'm not saying Caden Proctor isn't, but if you want to do that, I would trade back, get him a little bit later, get some extra draft picks. Lopez, what do you got to say on this one?
I know you were saying Proctor's not at the top of your board, but imagine Sundays we're in the studio, Caden Proctor Wildcat snaps.
I will
he's
say,
taking it to Alabama.
That
seems amazing.
I think Kellen Moore could have a lot of fun with.
He could play tight end.
That's kind of.
Juwan Johnson, move over. We got a 350-pound tight end.
Yeah, we have a 350-pound fullback who's just going to run right at you. Yeah, or a tight end who will run just 1 yard out, and that's it.
I mean, that's not fun.
Big guy TDs would be fun. I will say, I think for Caden Proctor, that would be an awesome selection. The reasons you said, Lopez, I would love to see Caden Proctor in New Orleans, but realistically, I want to go get a weapon or a game changer. Somebody whose jersey I can buy is kind of the thing, is what I want this year. CTM, we're back at you. I know it's not looking good for us, but we have to see what we have in Tyler. But Spencer is clearly not the problem. How do you feel about rebuilding the team around Rattler? I don't have a problem with rebuilding the team around Rattler. But like you said, you do need to see what you have in Shuck. Kellen Moore drafted Tyler Shuck for a reason. Spencer Rattler, he has been playing good football. He has good qualities. But that was not the player Kellen Moore drafted. It was a player that Kellen Moore was handed. And that's fine. But he drafted Shuck for a reason. Let's go find out what those reasons are. I don't think that that's an unfair statement to say. And what I do think is going to make more sense, unless you start losing every single game, or unless you continue to lose every single game, I should say, I think Rattler should continue to start at least up until the bye. That's where you might want to start having conversation, unless he wins a couple games. And sure, why not? Keep running him out there. But you do need to be realistic and understand you could have an opportunity to have a top draft pick. You could go and draft a quarterback if you wanted to. But do you need one? Got to answer that question first. SoCal, why is Asante Samuel Jr. still a free agent? Was the neck injury that bad? Neck injuries are not something fun to play around with. They just seriously aren't. Nervous system goes through your spine, neck, spine, all connected right there. I believe the injury was probably a lot worse than what was initially believed. I am not going to sit here and speculate on that, to be totally honest, because I don't know. But I can tell you I do know why he hasn't been signed. It's because he hasn't been medically cleared yet. And the reports were that he would come back like late October, mid to late October, right? It was second half of the season.
I think he's supposed to meet with like a specialist to make sure like the spine transfusion was successful.
That's it.
That's at some point this month.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So he's going to meet with the specialist this month. Shout out Lopez, knowing ball. He's the new host. He needs to meet with the specialist and see if he gets cleared. He hasn't been medically cleared yet, so that's why he hasn't been. I don't know. I don't want to speculate on the injury because that's just not my place, but I can tell you that is why he hasn't been signed. Injury's been bad. Let's see. Saints. Oh, Isaiah. # Saints. Trade Olave. Use Vele and Shaheed for wide receiver 1 and 2. Look, I don't know if I want Vele to be my wide receiver 1. I would like to say let's go draft a Carnell Tate. Draft a Jordan Tyson, but I'm okay trading Chris Olave. Draft a wide receiver to be an alpha, be a 1, and then you can have Shaheed and Vele be 2 and 3. I don't think Vele needs to be wide receiver 1. I don't think Shaheed needs to be wide receiver 1. I think both of those are actually better off as a wide receiver 2/3. Which is which, don't really care. I don't have a strong opinion either way. But I would not use Shaheed and Vele as your wide receiver 1 and 2. I would use them as your 2 and 3 still, but go and get another big-bodied alpha wide receiver. It's not that Devon Bailey isn't a big-bodied receiver, but, for the love of God, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, something like that. Go get a game changer, somebody who's an alpha. Malik Neighbors, to name another one, somebody like that. Go get an alpha. Can we trade Juwan Johnson, Jerry G? All right, I'm going to pull up his contract right now. I do know in terms of trading him, it would actually hurt you financially to do that. So can you? Of course you can, because you can do whatever you want. That's just how life is. Contractually, though, let's go through it. So if you were to trade Juwan Johnson, we're in the midst of the 2026 season, he would be a post-June 1 trade. 2026 dead cap of $4 million, 2027 dead cap at 9.3, 2026 savings. We're in 2025 season. Excuse me. Sorry. Wrong one. 2025 dead cap would be $4 million. 2026 dead cap would be $13.4 million. And in 2025, you'd save $1.17 million. Literally would actually screw you even harder. You would screw yourself if you traded him this offseason or this year right now. Offseason, maybe different story, but you would screw yourself. And for a team that's been trying to get out of financial hell, you cannot do that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You cannot trade Juwan Johnson. And it is solely a financial reason. And also, if you do trade him, you have no tight end depth whatsoever. I mean, then Foster Moreau is your 1. Jack Stolen, Maliki Matavau, and Trayton Welch. Come on. No. You can't trade Juwan Johnson. Next question coming in from Mixed. I think if the defense is as strong as they were in the 4th, they could be a playoff team. Sure, man. Yeah. They still got to score points, though. You got to score points on offense. Even in the best game of the season thus far against the Giants, the offense only scored 1 touchdown. So, you're not going to win games scoring only 1 touchdown offensively. You're not going to win games when your quarterback only throws for 1 touchdown. You're not going to win games if the only way you're able to score points is throwing Taysom Hill in every once in a while. You need to find ways to score. You need to find ways to be successful in the red zone. Mixed. I'm not going to sit here and say I disagree and think you're wrong, but I don't think it's that simple, to be totally honest. Lopez, what you got?
I'll say it. I disagree. I don't think the defense was that great at all yesterday.
No.
Even towards the end of the game, I guess they improved from the first half, but that's saying,
You went from shit to stink.
Yeah, it's you still didn't get off the field on 3rd downs. how many times did they let Mac Hollins get a first down on 3rd and 11,
or
3rd and 13?
Pop Douglas, or like,
Yeah,
come on, what are we doing here?
Like, the defense wasn't great yesterday at any point.
No, they were bad.
The game was just somehow close.
Yeah, I do think when it comes to the Saints, it is not just clean up one thing and you're good. You clean up 4 or 5 things and you might be good, but you're going to need to be much better. Like, just straight up, you're going to need to be – it's not just fix the defense and life's good. You got to score points. Like, offensively, you've been underwhelming. Defensively, you've been underwhelming. I'll say I'm impressed because I was expecting really bad, but – it still hasn't been good enough to be a playoff team. And for what it's worth, easiest path for the Saints to the playoffs, considering their start, would be winning the NFC South. And the Buccaneers are a wagon. You're not going to beat the Buccaneers this year. It's just not going to happen. I'd love to be wrong on that, but they're going to win the NFC South again. Appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. This has been our rumors and mailbag portion of the video. Taysom Hill should not be QB1, and we answered some awesome questions from the squad. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. My name is Tracy Trace Gerard for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.